This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim pass the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? Well, ladies and gentlemen, with a chance to capitalize on a team that was missing their star player, the Knicks couldn't do it. They gave up 124 points to the Washington Wizards without Bradley Beal. Without Bradley Beal, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks scored 117 points, but only because Kemba Walker scored 44 of the 117 points. If it wasn't for Kemba Walker, the Knicks probably would have been blown out in this basketball game. I don't know what to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to say or tell you. The Knicks' defense tonight was just not good. It was just not good. If it's not one thing, it's another. I know the Knicks were missing players. R.J. Barrett's not there. Emmanuel Quickly's not there. Kevin Knox normally doesn't play anyway. Nerlens Noel wasn't there. I get all of that, but they were missing their best player in Bradley Beal. And we had one of our best players, Kemba Walker, drop 44 points. And we still could not pull out this victory because we could not get stops, timely stops. You know, the one lineup that Tibbs threw out there, Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, Jericho Sims, Damian Dotson, and whoever else was on the floor was a terrible defensive lineup. Couldn't get stops for anything. Time and time again, Montrezl Harrell is leaking out. Getting easy dunks because they leaked out. This is a team that came into this game averaging 8 fast break points per game. Haven't seen the final numbers yet, but they probably had more than 8 fast break points tonight. You let a rookie come into the Garden, Kispert, and light it up. Denny had one of his best games as a young player. I don't know, man. I don't know what to. I don't know what to say. It's frustrating, because this is as we spoke about earlier. We're in a point in the schedule where we need wins, obviously, because of the Knicks' record. We're now 14-18. And we have the opportunity to get wins because of the teams that we're playing. And this is not to knock the Washington Wizards and say that they're a bad team. They just beat the Utah Jazz a couple of days ago. But a winnable basketball game against a team who didn't have their star player. What are we going to say? Kemba Walker's playing like he has a point to prove. And he probably does. Not just to the New York Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, but to the rest of the league to say, hey, I can still hoop. Yeah, they put me on the bench, but I can still ball. Watch what I do. Kemba Walker's been hooping, without a doubt. His last 3 games with the Knicks, it's been crazy. Been playing crazy basketball. But you got to have more than that. Kemba Walker tonight, 44 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. That's a nice game from Kemba Walker. Very nice game from Kemba Walker. Julius Randle on the night. Wrong screen. Sorry about that. There we go. Wrong. See, the Knicks got me all messed up, ladies and gentlemen. All messed up. Julius Randle, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, but he really didn't shoot well. And we're saying this night after night for Julius Randle now. Night after night that he really didn't shoot well. You know, the numbers look good on the surface, but again, didn't shoot well, especially from the three-point line. He shot okay from the field, I guess. 45.5% from the field. 0 for 5 from the three-point line. 1 block, 4 turnovers. Only 2 assists for Julius Randle tonight. Don't be upset by the assist, though. I seen somebody make a comment. Sorry about that. Had to check something. I seen somebody make a comment that, oh, Julius Randle only has 0 assists and 4 turnovers. But you know what? When the ball, we're all asking for the ball not to be in his hands. He's still going to get turnovers. He's still going to get turnovers. He's still Julius Randle, and he's still playing in the post, and he's still going to get double and triple teamed. He's still going to get turnovers. But if the ball's not in his hands, the assists aren't going to be there. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. But if the ball is in his hands less, and he's not orchestrating, don't start pointing out, well, he's not getting assists because, you know, now it's changed. What he's doing has changed. We would definitely like for him not to get 4 turnovers if he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much. Right? You have the ball in your hands less, your assists should go down, but so should your turnovers if you don't have the ball in your hands. You know what I mean? Again, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Alec Burks, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Evan Fournier, up to his old shenanigans. He had about 3 good games coming into this one. Tonight, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Like I said, up to his old shenanigans. Mitchell Robinson, 8 points, 3 rebounds. He was in foul trouble all night, ended up fouling out of the basketball game. Taj Gibson, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Jericho Sims, 6 points, 6 rebounds. Obi Toppin played 13 minutes, had 2 points. Daniel House Jr., brand new to the basketball team. No points, but he did play 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Quentin Grimes did not play tonight. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter asking, how come Grimes isn't in the game? No Grimes. The only thing that I can think of as to the reason why Damian Dotson got 16 minutes over Quentin Grimes is that maybe Quentin Grimes, you know, maybe his breathing isn't fully there yet. Maybe he needs some conditioning. We'll see. If he plays on Christmas Day. But those are the numbers for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. They shot well enough from the field, but they couldn't get stops. They let the Washington Wizards shoot better from the field. And that's the bottom line. For the Washington Wizards, they were led in scoring by Spencer Dinwiddie. And you remember, I changed my Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night to focus on Kemba Walker and Spencer Dinwiddie. And those two guys definitely came and played out. Spencer Dinwiddie almost had a triple-double, 21 points, 12 assists, and 7 rebounds. But the Wizards had scoring all over the board. Guys in double digits all over the board. Only 2 guys that played for them. 3 guys, but Anthony Gill only had 38 seconds. So basically, 2 guys that played legitimate minutes did not have double digits. Everybody else had double digits. Everybody else. Again, 21 points for Spencer Dinwiddie, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 20 points for Corey Kispert. He also had 3 assists. He shot 80% from the three-point line. He was 6 for 7 from the field altogether. Kyle Kuzma had 18 points and 10 rebounds. Daniel Gafford, he had 11 points and 6 rebounds. Aaron Holiday, 16 points and 5 assists. Then he had Villa, 14 points and 5 rebounds. Montrezl Harrell, 15 points and 4 rebounds. Then you had Raul Neto, he had 5 points and 3 assists. Davis Bertans, he had 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in double digits for the Washington Wizards, ladies and gentlemen. You know, that's just bad defense. I mean, you let these guys shoot 56% from the field and 43% from the three-point line, and they only took 75 shots. It's not like they took a million shots on the night. They just shot efficiently from the field. They had 30 assists. 30. What can you say, man? This is, you know, this is the team. This is it. This is who we are right now. There's no doubt about it. This is who we are. I want to believe that we're going to get better and we're going to be able to find ways to pull these wins out, but I'm not sure. I don't know, man. And I do understand that we got guys out, but so did they. So did they. We had enough of our rotation players there to win this game, in my opinion. I'm sorry. My man Spree is on the line, brother. What's going on with you, man?
I'm disappointed, just like you.
Yeah.
This is one I circled. I said I needed this one right before Christmas to try and get myself back in position, and this is what happens when you don't do what is necessary. It just what, and I'm sure what bothers you is we wasted a Kemba game.
Right.
You know.
Right. We wasted a very good game. You know, a game that he has a big game, you win, and it can possibly spark something in the team. But now this can have the opposite effect. You have a good game like this, a big game like this, and you still lose. And that's the thought process that starts to come over the mindset of the team. Damn, we got somebody have a monster game and we still can't pull it out. Something jumps in the way. Tonight it was defense.
I just didn't like the third. I mean, once they came out, they got it to 7. I didn't want them to feel comfortable. I wanted them, those first few minutes of the third quarter, to imprint yourself in the game, because you got fortunate. Kemba hit some very difficult shots to end the half, but it wasn't like we were playing great. I mean, in the first half, we extended because Kemba was playing out of his mind, making incredible shots. But I wanted the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. I didn't want to look sluggish. I didn't want to look like I was ready for the holidays. I wanted to come out and get stops. And I think, honestly, I don't understand why we kind of went away from Kemba. Randle was getting some ISOs. They were switching on D, but we looked slow. Randle was arguing with calls not getting back. Those first 3 minutes of the third quarter, Sim, killed us.
Yep.
What happened?
I don't know. You know, those first 3 minutes of the third quarter, it was Alec Burks advancing the ball up the floor. Kemba Walker was off the ball. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau wanted to try to get a jump start on beating the trap that eventually the Washington Wizards threw at the Knicks. You know, and maybe he thought he'd get him off the ball, but he was off the ball and they never went to him on the wing so that he can create on the wing. Instead, you know, they went in the opposite direction. I don't know. Maybe that was the game plan. Maybe it was like, hey, let's go in the opposite direction on a couple of plays and then come back. In my opinion, he was hot. Just put the ball in his hands, see what the defense does, see if he continues to be hot, and ride the wave.
I just didn't like how the ball moved like this. And this was a defensive loss, make no mistake. I don't want to put it on one guy, but I look at Randle's stats, and to me, they're empty stats. Because, like, if you watch the game, if you actually watch the game, and I know some guy, Fournier was atrocious. He was bad. But if you actually watch that game, I didn't think Julius Randle really had any imprint on the game defensively, really even offensively. I never felt comfortable. I mean, he's missing wide-open threes, Sim. Most of those threes were open, maybe one contested where I don't know why he shot it, but most of them were open. And he's not making the one where he will get the foul calls last year where he extends his arm and lifts up in the mid-range. He would at least get to the line last year. He's not even making any of those this year. He doesn't make those anymore.
Well, his shot is just off really, really bad. A lot of his shots were clankers, even his mid-range shots, right? Clankers.
That's what I'm saying.
Clankers,
I don't understand. He was making that shot last year. Is it just he's not getting the foul calls? Is it he's not getting sleep? Do the reporters need to ask him, why aren't you getting sleep? Is the baby too much? Is it the fans? Is it because look, defensively he was lost. Fournier was lost. This was and I don't even want to focus on the offense because Julius somehow got me 23 points. I don't know how. Because watching that game,
he got them. Maybe two of them were, pointless at the end. But some of them were hustle points. He got some offensive rebounds. Let me see. He had 4 offensive rebounds tonight. So he got some offensive rebounds and putbacks. So he had some hustle points.
This is really
that's where he got the 23.
But I also hated when he did we were down 6 and it didn't really matter because we were winning the game anyway. I hate it because it was a low IQ play in my opinion, unless Tibbs told him to do it. He went for a layup. We were down 6 points with 30 and change or something like that, and he drove a 2-pointer does you no good there. That's nitpicking.
Well, 30. I don't know. 30 seconds. If you're down 6, you take the 2 points. Got 30 seconds. You're down 4. I think if you can get a stop, you still have a possession. You still got enough time to get 2 possessions out of it. If you can get stops.
I don't know if it was 30 seconds to be fair, but yeah.
If it's 30 seconds, I think it might have been more like 15 though, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, this game's frustrating because we missed. This was a game we needed quickly. We needed some more 3 balls. Fournier just. He was playing well for 3 games, but then he went back to. He looks awful. He can't move. He's in quicksand. I'm just frustrated with Julius. I just don't understand. Defensively, he's lost. He can't. He doesn't contest. He's lazy. He won't get back if he doesn't get a foul call. And the refs are atrocious. Some of these refs are bad. I get it, but just
the refs are bad. But that's the NBA. That's basketball. In and of itself, every single team feels like the refs are bad. Every single fan base feels like the refs go against their team. And I know I've said it plenty of times, the refs don't like the Knicks or they're calling bad calls against the Knicks, but it's going to be every team. I didn't even really pay attention to the refs tonight. You know what I mean?
Well, the one call, Sim, I want to get your take. There was one, in my opinion, there was one bad call against the Knicks that actually really hurt us. Coming out of a timeout, the one where they put he was on the floor. It was right near the Knicks bench. And they gave him 2 free throws. That was clear. That was a momentum where we just cut it to maybe 2. I feel like that's what it's been all year. We cut it to 2, call a timeout. Maybe Tibbs calls the wrong play, but we get a foul call. Burks fouls him with a second left on the shot clock.
Yeah.
He was on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't even know who it was.
I forgot who it was. I think it was Denny. Denny.
Right. He wasn't going up.
He kind of made a bad play, really, and kind of he got bailed out. He got bailed out.
Bailed out, man. You can't look. The referee's a tough job, but I'm watching that from my home on television. That's not a shooting foul. It's not. They panic. The refs panic. They're in the garden. They're like, oh, let me just call a foul and put him on the line. No, that's not how it works. You have to call it. If it's on the floor, it's on the floor. It was a bad call. But look, I'm not blaming the refs. We stink defensively. How do we give up 124 points to a Bradley Beal-less Washington Wizards team?
124 points, no Bradley Beal.
How do you do that?
I don't know. we got guys cutting to the basket in front of us, behind us, knocking down threes. Vaughn Allen, he says, one last time, and he's talking about Tibbs' defense, packing the paint. He said, one last time, the packing the paint doesn't allow for a slow-footed backcourt to recover, or lazy defenders who do not or will not rotate consistently. I can't disagree. You know what I mean? Packing the paint is not working for this team. There are nights when, teams don't hit their threes, but this season it's been many more nights when teams are hitting their threes, and there's not much we can do about it. And then there was a point in the third quarter when the Knicks had closed the gap. Maybe it was a 1-point game. Mm-hmm. And, Mitchell Robinson played a bad defensive game all night long, in my opinion. And Davis Bertans open from three, top of the key, bomb, knocks it down. Every time we inched that close in the second half, some kind of a play, something would happen where they knocked down a three. Right? And, I think Tibbs has to start to realize that Mitch can't be on the floor when you have someone like Davis Bertans out there because he doesn't defend them well. You got to do something else. Put Taj back in there to defend him.
Yeah,
because
something. I don't want to just put it on Julius. I tweeted out. I don't want to. This is just me. I didn't want Julius to come back in that game in the fourth quarter. I'm not saying Obi was doing anything. I mean, there was two straight possessions with Obi where we kind of got an alley-oop to Mitch, an easy layup twice, where I felt good about it. I forgot I think Toppin got was both plays. It was the same exact play we ran. We got an easy layup. And I was saying to myself, man, I do not want Julius coming back in this game. Please don't bring him back in the fourth quarter. Just let us lose with other people tonight because I'm frustrated. But it's not all on Julius.
Yeah,
one thing I'll say is I hope he says in the postgame that it's either the baby or it's the steak. I want something. I want some comedy. That's all I'm asking for. I got nothing right now.
He's not going to give you that.
Hopefully he makes us laugh. That's all I got.
He's not going to give you that. Julius ain't going to give you nothing like that. He's kind of a private guy. He's not going to give you that.
Somebody ask him about the steak or something. Give me something.
Yeah, we'll see.
I got nothing.
Maybe Mark Berman will. We'll leave it up to Berman to do it.
All right. Have a good Christmas, man.
All right. Appreciate it. You too, man. There's a lot of blame to go around in this entire game. The only person, that really can't take too much blame, if any, is Kemba Walker. I think Kemba Walker played his ass off. I'll call you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
What's good? It's your boy, Mr. Moore from the Bronx.
What's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
Oh, boy. It's another loss, man. You can't get over that hump, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this team this year.
I don't know. We can't get over it. We can't. We just, I don't know, struggling. And I don't know if we get over the struggle this year. It doesn't feel like it because we had a lot of this roster dysfunction going on in the beginning of the season as far as lineups and who should play. And then now there's so-called dysfunction between Kemba Walker and Tom Thibodeau. And then now you got everything going on with COVID. It just doesn't feel like it's ever going to get together. Not this season. We may stay close enough we may stay close enough just to keep everybody interested.
I don't think we're even going to do that.
But I don't know if we're going to get there.
Honestly, bro, I've been saying it all year since the season started. We have no identity whatsoever. Some days it looks like we can score with the best of them. Then some days it looks like we can get some stops in a row when we need it. Then some days you don't look like we can do anything.
Right.
It's like, the NBA consistent keeps on getting the, high score of the year against the Knicks. Like everybody that we play is always having their best game. We have Rubio looking like an all-star, a couple months ago. Like, come on, man. I don't know what's going on. Like, you can't tell me we made 2 people leave the team and this is what we're getting now. It's really looking like the Bullock and what's the other guy that everybody hated? the point guard. Like, it's looking like we got rid of those two people, and like everything is just destroyed now.
Yeah, things are tough now. And, Mitchell Robinson said the other day that they had a team meeting. Kemba Walker said that they didn't have a team meeting. Maybe Mitchell Robinson wasn't supposed to let it out there, but they need to have another one. Or have one if they didn't have one. They've got to figure something out. You know what I mean? They don't even get a couple of days over Christmas break to just get away from each other, let their minds get free. You know what I mean? They got to play on Christmas.
Yeah. So expect the Knicks to lose again on national TV. Like, who we supposed to play? Like, that's going to be a scorcher for us, man. Like, we're not going to win that. I got no faith in them. I was supposed to go to the Garden this year. Like, I reneged on that, man. They can't get my money. They can't get my money when they putting up, This ain't it right here. Like, Thibodeau, I don't even trust him. I had so much faith in him. And now it's like I don't have no faith in him because he's showing the same pattern, grind hard. Gets the most out of his players, but it's like grind hard. Like, we losing. Why not play the young guys? Let us see what we really got. Let us see what we got. Play the young guys. I'd rather take a loss, with the young guys than and evaluate our talent than losing with the old guys. What's the point? We spent all this money on Fournier, 70 mil, and this guy can't hit the ocean.
Man, hey,
like we losing with talent.
Let's see, when these young guys get back healthy. I know Grimes was back tonight, but I still think you probably got to give him a day or two. Everyone's a little bit different. Who knows? Obi, he went out a little bit earlier than Grimes. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he's in more condition than Grimes is. So let's, maybe give it until Christmas when we play Atlanta and see if Grimes gets in the game. He didn't get in the game tonight. Maybe he'll get in then.
One more thing before I go, man. Like, I don't know. Like, either they're going to make a trade before this deadline or, like something drastic has to happen. It may be the coach going. I'm going to just throw that out there. It may be the coach going because he's not really doing anything as far as, like, he's not moving the needle. His lineups is questionable. Like you said, the other caller called in and said, all these bigs on the floor. If we're already having spacing issues, guys can't shoot, why are you going to put, more ineffective shooters on the floor? There's nobody that's, transcending that's on the floor right now. You're going to put more lackluster talent around them? How's that going to work?
I don't know, man.
Too much 90s basketball with Thibodeau. So at the end of the day, until we get, a more forward-thinking coach, we're stuck. We're stuck at the end of the day with the talent that we got because he's going to bleed Julius to death, man. Trust me. He's going to bleed that guy to death.
And maybe he already did because Julius is not playing good basketball. So, maybe it already happened. I don't know.
That man ain't braided his hair in over a month. All right?
Yeah, he's looking rough
good
out there. He's looking rough out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's looking
it's not
real
looking
rough.
good, man.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. Since that Hawks game, he has not braided his hair. That's a fact. That's been over a month.
Yeah, he's looking rough out there. He looks tired. He looks stressed. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
Something going on.
Man, I appreciate your time, bro.
All right.
Appreciate
Peace,
your
man.
time.
Peace, Knicks, man.
Shout out to Neville Humphreys. Thank you for the super chat. He said, I have said this comment before, and I will say it again. For the Knicks to save their season, Leon Rose must fire his friend, Coach Tibbs. Merry Christmas to you and to Knicks Nation. Merry Christmas to you, Neville. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate your time. I don't think that Tom Thibodeau is going anywhere right now. You know what I mean? You have a built-in excuse with everything going on with COVID. If Thibodeau's going to go anywhere, I think it would probably be next season, unless something happened where they, sat down and Tibbs is like, nah, this ain't it for me or whatever. I think it would be next season. I think that they would probably try to make a move to get Thibodeau, some guys that he wants, see if they can do something during the offseason, and then give it another year, and then make a decision. I just think that's the way it would probably go. You know what I mean? You can't throw last year just out the window and say and act like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Especially when you brought in some new guys. And I know other teams have had success. No doubt about it. But everybody, you know, all teams are different. I don't think that they're going to fire Tom Thibodeau right now. You know what I mean? Or at the end of the season. You know, I think if it were to happen, it would be probably next year. You know, they'll give him time to work this roster out, see if they can figure out something with these guys, and then make some moves, see if he can put it together there. And then if you can't do it, then say, all right, you know, it's time for us to go in another direction. Unless the only other way that I see it is if they decide we're going to break this thing down, we're just going to go with a straight up youth movement. Then, you know, then I could see Tom Thibodeau saying, you know, I don't want to be part of that. Too old for that. You know what I mean? He stresses out enough with the guys that we have. Can you imagine Tom Thibodeau with only youth out there on the floor? Sheesh. Guy might blow a top, man. Might blow a top. I don't know. Got my man Tony Crow just popped in the building, man. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
What's good, Sim? I mean, because the Nas album's dropping, I'm okay right now.
Yeah, I know. Word up. Me too, man. And nothing's going to ruin my night. The only thing that would ruin my night is if the album was not good. You know what I mean? But it's hard for me to see that happening. We're going to talk about it later on tonight on the front stoop, so people can jump in there and chill with us for a little bit. But, yeah, you know, that's definitely saving my night.
For sure. But as far as the Knicks, man, I could barely watch the game. You know, I've been missing games all year at work, so just listening to it as I'm working, and I could just feel it, man. I heard Kimba Walker, Kimba again. And I'm like, we're going to lose this game. And from what I did see, I mean, Julius does not look the same. And I don't know what's going on. But I think he's more of the reason of the failure right now, because he's not close to who he was last year. And I thought we really needed the stretch that we're in right now of home games and you know, lower competition, and this is like make or break right now. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's over yet, but this stretch might be the determining factor of where we are at the end of the year. So I mean, let's hope we could turn it around for on Christmas. That'd be a nice little gift, you know. But yeah, something's got to give. We're dealing with a lot of guys out, and hopefully they come back and turn it around. The funny thing though about, you know, what you were just saying about Tibbs and the young guys, man. I mean, these young guys have been producing all year long. Every chance they get, you know. They might not play 10 games and come in and have a career game. So
right. Well, what I was saying is if Leon Rose decided, you know, we're just going to go with a straight youth movement, we're getting rid of all of our vets, we're going straight young, you know, you're not going to be able to get all young guys that can, you know, has that kind of basketball acumen, basketball IQ. You know what I mean? I don't know if Thibodeau was built for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's built to develop an entire team of young players. I just don't see Tibbs being built for that. You know what I mean? To play a couple of guys, I think he can do that, especially, you know, when you got vets out there, those guys, they don't have a lot of responsibility. They can just fit in a little slot. I can't see Tibbs coaching a whole team of young players. You know what I mean? I think he'd lose it.
two things. I think that was the decision we were in 2 years ago prior to Tibbs. I think it was like, if we're gonna go young, we bring Atkinson's
Right.
in. If we're gonna try to win now or win within a less of a smaller window, then we go with Tibbs. So I agree with you in that aspect. But I would love to just be a fly on the wall, like at the coffee table or in Tibbs' office, and hearing what he's saying or what he thinks about these young guys and how consistent they have been, and like I would just want to know what he's thinking about this, because
Right.
this is just this is a shocker. This is really a
Yeah.
shocker, man.
Yeah, and nobody expected the Knicks to be world beaters and be at the top of the Eastern Conference. We definitely didn't expect them to be in the 12th spot in the Eastern Conference. I expected them to be somewhere around the 5th or 6th seed. That's what I thought they were going to be coming into this season. And to me, even though that's a little bit worse seeding-wise than last year, I felt like that still was going to be a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you can add more pieces to take more steps forward. But right now, the entire thing is turning out to be a debacle. Guys don't know the roles. They're not sure what they're doing. You know what I mean? Randle don't know if he's facilitating or if he's shooting. His shot is totally off. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen nights where he doesn't want to shoot the basketball. He's hesitant to shoot the basketball because his shot's not falling. Obviously we know everything going on with Kemba. Fournier just is Evan Fournier, I guess. You know what I mean? RJ hasn't been playing well at all this season. A couple of spurts here and there, but he hasn't been playing well. It's like the entire, what you would consider the core of the team, hasn't been
on the downside.
just has not played close to last season. I seen somebody just in the chat say, just kind of laugh that Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock were the glue. But you know what? We don't have glue guys right now. So I don't know if it's actually that funny that those guys were the glue, because we don't have glue guys. Who's the glue guy on this team?
I mean, right now, it's really looking like the young guys are the glue. I was going to ask you this. Do you think the lack of a pecking order is one of the main issues with this team? I mean, I think everybody knows on the team the consensus is Randle's the number one. But after that, I mean, we talked about it before the season started. Who's going to be the number two guy? Who's going to be the number three? Is RJ still number two? And I don't think any of them know what the pecking order is, other than, Randle's the main guy. Right. And that kind of makes it a little bit easier for the younger guys, because they don't have to worry about a pecking order. You know what I mean? Like they know they coming off the bench. They got to bring energy. If we're down, it's kind of like they can't lose because they come in when they're down. So if they bring us back, it's always looking good. But if they don't, I mean, it's the bench. They're young, so they got like a built-in excuse.
Right. And I feel like, and I think that's a good question. What is the pecking order? I think that nobody this season established that. If anybody established a pecking order, Derrick Rose. Maybe established like, is he the number two? I would chance to say that he's the number two. He's definitely the number two guy, and on a lot of nights, the guy that you want to trust the most. You know what I'm saying? As the number one, for real. But with everybody else, I don't think anybody really went out there and grabbed it and said, "Yeah, I'm the definite guy." We thought early in the season, we thought maybe RJ, right? We thought maybe RJ, but we see what happened there.
I think actually starting Derrick Rose would go a lot further. Even I mean, especially with Kemba, because he can step in and run that second unit and be used to the role that he's been in throughout his career. Number one guy, or at least number one decision maker. You know what I mean? I think Randle has enough respect for Rose, especially with the experience of playing with him last year, where he could be the number one guy and still defer to Rose, or still let Rose man that point position without. Because I mean, I feel like, I mean, Kimba's been aggressive these last 2 games, but early in the season, I felt like even he wasn't able to just be himself. And I'm not blaming Randle. I think Randle was used to being who he was and doing what he did from the previous year. But it kind of confused Kemba in the sense that, all right, I'm used to just making a decision, having the ball in my hand, getting other guys involved. That kind of got taken away from him. And you could almost say the same thing with Fournier. He may not have been the number one guy throughout his career, but he was definitely number two. You know what I mean? If not number one, he was the number two guy. And he had opportunities to take over at times. All right, this is my stretch. And we've seen it a little bit from him this year, but very inconsistent. So again, I think it's back to that whole, I think if Rose started, I think it kind of puts things right in place. You know what I mean? I think if Kemba ran the second unit, he gets to be that decision maker, almost in the same role as Rose. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think he could run with those young guys. He could feed off those young guys. They could feed off him. I think Randle has enough respect to let Rose do what he does. He's not going to just ask for the ball every time, or watch him when he has the ball.
Right.
And so forth and so on. I think everybody else in the starting unit just kind of falls into place.
Yeah, and I think, contrary to what a lot of other people think, I think that Randle is, I don't want to say begging to coach or anything like that. He's probably not saying anything. But I feel like in his mind to himself, he's like, I want somebody else to be the lead guy on the floor. He might still want to be the leading scorer or something like that, but I think he wants somebody else to be the lead guy because, when he's the lead guy, the lead facilitator and all of that, the pressure is on him, and I don't know if he wants all of that pressure on him because he knows he makes a lot of mistakes and turns over the basketball and things like that. You see, when Kemba was out there doing his thing, he just, all right, I'm going to sit to the side and let him rock. You know what I'm saying? And, he had 4 offensive rebounds tonight. I'll go in and grab some offensive rebounds, and I'll get my spots when I can get them. He didn't shoot well. He didn't shoot well from 3. He shot 45% from the floor. But I think he's waiting for a guy like, a point guard guy to be that lead, and lead the offense and lead the team and be the guy that's directing people. That's what I think. I know there's a lot of people that are, don't believe that and think that Randle, thinks he's LeBron James. I don't think that. I think that he needs, clearly, and wants a guy that can take it from him. I don't think he wants to be that. I don't think he wants to be LeBron James. I think he's perfectly fine with getting his touches and scoring the basketball, and let somebody else, command the ship. I said shipped. Ship.
This is, and that's another thing. Rose being out, the 8 weeks or whatever, it's really gonna test us now. You know what I mean? I think Kim is gonna have to continue to perform, but we still got to figure out who else is gonna step up, because somebody else is gonna have to, and whether it's Grimes or McBride, or quickly sliding over and manning the point, whether it's the second unit or not. But we're gonna have to somebody's gonna have to fill in his role. I mean, he's been, I think, the most consistent Nick all year. Derrick Rose has, and that's with a couple bad games here and there. He's still been the most consistent.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people in the chat disagreeing with me. That's cool. I'm all good with that. Uh, you know, um, I just, people say, oh, he's looking for stats. I disagree. When you have nights when you only take 7 shots and you're the main guy, that's not looking for stats. I'm sorry. And we've seen several of those nights this year. When you have games where you're not sure if you should shoot it or pass it, or you're doing more passing than looking for your shot, that's not a guy looking for stats to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a guy trying to figure out, what am I doing out here and how do I make this work? I've seen a lot of basketball up close and personal on TV, this and that, and I can see when a guy is searching to try to understand, what am I doing? A guy who's confused. I've seen a lot of players who are confused, and he's confused. You know what I'm saying? He needs someone. You can't have your leader be confused, right? And he's confused. Whether or not that's his fault, I don't know. I'm not speculating on that. He's confused about playing basketball right now. His shot is off. His decision-making is bad. He needs a leader. And I think he knows that. You know what I mean? I think he knows that. Obviously, he's the guy right now, so he's going to catch the blame. And, you put that target on your back when you accept that mantle. So, that is what it is. What do you think, Tony, about the lineup that we've seen out there? I think we've seen it in the previous game, and we've seen it tonight. It was Mitchell Robinson at center, Taj Gibson at the 4, and Julius Randle at the 3. How you feel about that?
I gotta be honest. I probably haven't seen it enough myself because like I said, I've been working and kind of like listening and catching bits and pieces. But I did notice them say that talk about that lineup last game. I mean, I like it in the sense that from what I saw, I definitely like excuse me. I didn't notice like Randle do anything at the 3, but I did notice how well Mitchell played alongside Taj, and that I've noticed, and I definitely like that. So even if Taj is giving Randle some minutes to for a breather or whatever the case, obviously Obi wasn't there last game. I did like what I saw from those 2 bigs at the 4 and 5. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really get to physically see Randle perform at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Taj has played well. I mean, Mitch has played much better defense alongside Taj.
See, my thing is, I thought that maybe Tom Thibodeau was, trying to take a look at it right now with the lineups being so thin. You can actually look at things without anyone calling it into question, because it's like, hey, I gotta put some guys out there. You know what I mean? And so I feel like he said, let me take a look at this with the idea that one of these days it would be Obi out there instead of Taj Gibson. And I think, it's all going to depend on if Randle can defend the opposing team's 3, right? But I think it looks different when you have Obi out there. If he's playing the 4, Mitch is playing the 5, and Randle's playing the 3. With Randle, Taj, and Mitch, I think it makes you kind of cumbersome, a little slow and cumbersome. Putting Obi out there instead of Taj, I think, changes it. It's not as cumbersome. As a matter of fact, it could be even faster, because you have Obi's athletic, Mitch is athletic. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was trying to take a look at it, said, let me see how this could look. Let me see what Randle could do. Can he be productive at the 3? Can he defend the 3? What's it look like on the offensive side? So I think he was taking a look at it. He didn't go back to it in the second half because I think that lineup hurt us in the second quarter at some point. But he did it in the previous game. And, he might do it again, just to get another look at it. Maybe next time he does it with Obi, just to see what it looks like, see what happens. You know what I mean?
You know what I've noticed him I mean, it started, I believe, last year, but a lot of teams now are starting to put small guys on Randle. Like last year, it was like 2 or 3 teams like that seemed to be their strategy, but now I'm seeing it like every other game. They putting a young guy or excuse me, a small guy on him, whether it's a guard or a small forward. Um, I wonder if there's numbers that back up that he doesn't play. You know what I mean? Well, I know he does tend to get some offensive fouls when a smaller guy is on him,
Mm-hmm.
like barreling over him or something of that nature. So maybe that can have something to do with it. But me personally, I don't think it has been that effective. But I continue to see it. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that?
I think teams do it because, especially when the Knicks aren't hitting threes, they do it. I think one, they know that Julius Randle is going to get a little bit nervous about creating those offensive fouls. They know that he's going to try to post up. They're going to send a double team. And now you got longer people coming to double team, and you got longer people in the passing lanes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because Randle is a little bit tentative with those guys on him, they're not as worried about him just scoring on that guy. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thinking behind it. They're like, you know what? We'll put a guy up underneath him and let that guy be like a little gnat, get up underneath Randle. You know what I'm saying? So now Randle's nervous about getting that offensive foul. Then we'll send somebody to double or triple. Now we got longer guys, 6'7", 6'8" guys in the passing lanes, making that pass out even tougher. You know what I mean? And I think that's the strategy behind it. And it works.
It does.
It works. It definitely works. You know what I mean? And, he hasn't figured out, one of the things that I'm disappointed that he hasn't figured out is that when I got one of these little gnats on me, to like get deep, either, shoot over or get super deep position in the paint. You get deep enough position where this guy is already inside the arc, right? He's inside that little circle in the lane. You're not going to pick up an offensive foul because you're so deep. And then go up, you know what I mean? Instead he gets the ball out on the perimeter and, wants to play around, jab, step, do whatever. And this guy is, bugging him, getting on his nerves. You know what I'm saying? Now, I did see somebody say in the chat, I don't remember who it was. I didn't catch it, who it was at the time, say that, the problem isn't the offense, it's the defense. Tonight, it was the defense. The Knicks scored 117 points. The Wizards scored 124 points. But on plenty of nights, it's been the offense. Don't forget about us going through a stretch where we could score 100 points. You know what I mean? Coming into this game, we only averaged 105.8 points per game or something like that. So it's the offense too. It's not just the defense. It's the offense too. We were supposed to, everybody thought that we were coming into this season and trading a little bit of offense for a little bit of defense, right? So our defense would get a little bit worse, but our offense would get better. Didn't turn out to be the case, man. Didn't turn out to be the case. Looking at the stats, though, for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know if I want to read them, but I'm going to read them to you. I'm going to read them to you. That's what you came here for. 44 rebounds for the Knicks, 38 for the Washington Wizards. 30 assists for the Wizards tonight, man. 30 assists for the Wizards. 12 of them by Spencer Dinwiddie. 30 assists. The Knicks, 17. 17 assists for the New York Knicks. Obviously, Kemba Walker got super duper hot, so that's going to, cut down on a number of assists, right? Because Kemba Walker was so hot. He was able to go one-on-one and knock down shots, but still, 17 assists for the Knicks. They only averaged like 21, 22 assists anyway. 4 steals for the Wizards, 2 for the New York Knicks. 6 blocks for the Wizards, 1 for the Knicks. 11 turnovers for the Wizards, only 7 for the Knicks. But here's the difference in the game. The Wizards shot 56% from the field. The Knicks shot 45% from the field. The Wizards shot 43% from 3. The Knicks shot 31% from 3. The Wizards were only 75% from the free throw line, and the Knicks were 87% from the free throw line. But, who cares? Because the Wizards made 16 of 37 threes. The Knicks shot 42 threes. They made 13 of them, but they shot 42 of them. The Knicks took 93 shots tonight. The Wizards took 75 shots. But because they shot so well, they scored 124 points. And they went to the line 32 times. They were 24 for 32 from the line. The Knicks were 20 for 23. 75 shots, but they made 42 of them. And I get into this conversation all the time. People talk about pace. You have some teams, and I don't know if the Knicks have this philosophy or not. I really don't think so. Some teams who are like, we're just going to shoot a lot of shots, and the more shots we shoot, the more we can make. Sometimes that can make you inconsistent, in my opinion. If you have an offense, a good offense, and you might not shoot as many shots as other teams, but you make a high percentage of those shots, you can win that way as well. And I believe that makes you better defensively. You know what I'm saying? Because people are in better positions to get back and defend. I mean, I'm not saying the Washington Wizards played great defensively tonight, but you can basically say, though, the Knicks' point total came because they took so many more shots. I mean, they literally took almost 20 more shots than the Washington Wizards. Both teams made 42 shots. But the the Wizards were made way more efficient from the three-point line than the Knicks. Although they only made 3 more threes, but that was 9 points. The Knicks lost by 7. There you go. There it is.
Man, something's got to give, man.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
Something. I don't know what it is or when it's going to happen, but something's got to give. You know what I mean? Something's got to give. I don't know, Tony. Are there any moves that you're looking forward to that the Knicks doing? Anything that you think any moves that they can do by the trade deadline that you think turns this around?
I mean, I'm scared of. I don't know if anything turns it around. I think, me personally, I think smaller moves of bringing like straight defenders in, like, and it's funny, like, but not saying Elf and Bullock, but just like a wing defender and a defender point guard, or maybe even if Deuce starts to get some playing time. I've never been the guy saying play the rookies. Like, I figure let them earn their way into that, but maybe some small moves at the defensive end for the wing. I think that's the best chance for us because we've done it already. You know what I mean? I think a big move could go either way because you still got to acclimate guys. But if you bring in guys straight in for defense and adequate scoring, but defense, I think they come in, they know what they got to do. They don't really have to learn much. Hit open shots, play some defense, and I think that can turn it around. I mean, even with the guys we have, I think hit open shots and play defense could turn the season around.
I mean, the thing is, I just feel like their rhythm is so off. They're never really going to get it together offensively to consistently hit shots. There's going to be some good nights. That's why I say I think the Knicks are going to be able to stay in it, stay in contention of that, 10th spot and be, a game out of it or something like that all season long. I don't know if they're going to be able to get over the hump because I just don't feel like it's going to mesh. So
what would your answer be? What kind of move could turn it around? You think a bigger move is more likely to turn it around? Because I really think
I don't know if a bigger move turns it around, because now you're putting pressure on that. If a bigger move is something to me that you're setting up for the next year.
Yes.
Right? If you were to bring in a Damian Lillard, unless you do it now, right, within the next 2 weeks. But if you do something right at the trade deadline, like I'm just throwing names out there, Damian Lillard or Karl Anthony Thomas, or Thomas Towns. I don't know why I said Thomas. You do a move like that, for example, and it's at the deadline. I mean, if the Knicks are 500, then maybe you're looking like, okay, this is going to propel us forward, right? But if the Knicks are where they are in the 12th seed, you're hoping that you can get into the play-in, but you're probably really preparing for the next year, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? My big thing is figuring out who's going to be that real floor general that just takes control. And I don't know if it's, I just don't know if, is it Derrick Rose? I don't know. But Derrick Rose is not a vocal guy either. I think this is a team that you do need a vocal guy. You need that guy who's vocal, who's not afraid to tell players yes or no, move them in this spot and that spot, who's not afraid to be the bad guy.
How good does Chris Paul sound right now, right?
Chris Paul sounds like a big cold glass of water on a 102-degree day. You know what I mean? But I don't think that guy's out there at the trade deadline. Nope. At all. And I don't think that guy's out there over the off season. You know what I mean? I don't think that guy's out there.
Rand Rock says time to tank. We don't tank over here.
I don't tank, bro. I don't tank.
We let the chips fall where they fall, but we don't tank over here.
You know what I mean? So I see someone saying McBride, and McBride might be that guy in the future. Not saying he's not. I don't know if he's ready to do that right now, today. You know what I'm saying? And
I doubt he's going to be vocal.
Because
you know what I mean?
Right. The kind of floor general, the kind of leader that I'm talking about, for me, and there's going to be plenty of people that disagree with me, is a guy that's been in the league. And here's my reasoning behind it. Because when you've been in the league for a while, you know the tendencies of players on other teams. Right? Because you've played against these guys for a while. So now you can tell Julius Randle, look, this is what he likes to do. Go here. Do it like this. Do it like that. Evan Fournier, whoever. Because you've coached, you've played against this guy on several occasions. You know what I'm saying? A rookie doesn't know that right now. So when you're talking about someone who's the captain out there, the captain has that experience behind them. And so that's the reason why against Orlando, I'm going to tell you to do this. Against Portland, I'm going to tell you to do this out there because I played against these teams. I've bumped with these dudes. And that's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. Miles McBride hasn't been there yet. And that's not to say that he can't be a good, productive player for this team. That's not what I'm saying at all. You know what I'm saying? Give him all the minutes you want, playing 40 minutes a night for all I care. That doesn't mean he has to be that captain. I think that's the kind of captain that we don't have out here.
And not for nothing, those guys, it's not many of those guys in the league, period.
It's not.
Whether you talk to point guard or any position, like just guys that know the game like a Chris Paul.
But when you look at your championship level teams, they got those guys. Phoenix got one, right? And Chris Paul. Utah with Mike Conley, right? When you talk about Milwaukee, they got Drew Holiday. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like these teams, they got guys that is just the captain. It's the captain out there, and they might not have a big C on their chest. That's not, who cares? That's not what it's all about. But they're the guy out there that, you know, he knows he knows what's happening. He knows what's going on out there on the floor. You know what I mean? And, you know, these championship teams have that kind of player. And that's part of the reason why they're championship caliber. You know, when you look at the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, he's the highlight reel. Right? He's the highlight reel. But Mike Conley is the general. You know, because he's been there. He's been around. We miss it. We miss it. We miss it. That's one of the reasons why Cleveland is playing well. And I'm not going to, you know, I can't say nothing. Someone, you know, I think it was Gmo. He was like, yo, we should, you know, Rubio makes $21 million. We should go get Ricky Rubio. And I was like, nah, you know, I'll rest with that. You know, we can get him for $5 to $8 million. I'm cool, but I don't want to pay him $21 million. But he's part of the reason why Cleveland is playing so well. Yeah. They got one of those guys that can be, he's been in the league for a while. He's the general out there. He don't got to be starting either, but he's the general. You know what I'm saying? He's the general. He's out in the woods roasting squirrels with Shaq. He's the general. Only a couple people going to get that, Tony. If you see no Shaq commercials, only a couple people going to get that one.
And the Jersey people.
So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's Rondo is a guy. Rondo is a guy. I see Randrock said Rondo. Yes. Rondo is a guy. He's one that you could go get.
Yeah.
Right? You might be able to pick him off of LA's bench and get Rondo out there. He's one of those guys that could maybe get that done.
Yeah. and has a reputation already with Tibbs. So I that might be the best option right now. And I love what he did when he was in Chicago. You know, he stuck up for the young guys. It's a risky thing to go out and get him because he does tend to rub people the wrong way. You know what I mean? So it's like either he's gonna turn the whole thing around, or he gonna pull a floor from under, and we gonna hit the rock bottom even harder. You know what I mean? Depending on how he meshes with I guess the how receptive, let's say, a Randle is with him. You know what I mean? But I think Randle respects guys that did it in the league, and Rondo has definitely done it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, B-Baller for real. B-Baller for real said Rondo is not going to leave LeBron and Melo to fight with Julius. How many minutes is Rondo getting though?
And I don't think he got a no trade clause. So
yeah, right. He don't have a no trade clause. So, you know, how many minutes is Rondo getting though? He might say, "Hey, I'll come and play some ball." You know, I'll come so I can play ball. It's not like the Lakers are burning the league up.
That's
LeBron James. They're not burning it up. Yeah, they're 16-16 on the season. I mean, it's a better record than the Knicks, but they're 16-16 on the season. I don't think he's getting much playing time. I couldn't tell you because I haven't followed them night in and night out. Right, but I don't think he's getting a whole lot of playing time this season, doing a lot of riding the bench. You know, he might say, hey, you know what? I'll go play for the Knicks if I'm going to be one of your main players out there on the floor, getting burned.
Yeah, I actually like that move.
You know,
I don't think it costs that much.
Rajon Rondo right now, he's 35. It ain't gonna cost nothing. He's 35 years old. He's playing 16 minutes a game. That's what he's averaging right now. 17 games, 16 minutes a game. I don't know. what would you what would you give up? They might want a young player that you ain't using. Would you give up Kevin Knox for him? Or would you, give up a second round pick or 2 second round picks for him or something like that?
Do Knox and a second. Knox might even make too much though.
Yeah, Knox is making $7 million. I don't know what Rajon Rondo is making.
Probably $1 million.
Yeah, he's probably getting a veteran's minimum, most likely.
So it might have to be draft compensation. And so here's the thing. Do you see, because that I don't want to do. I don't want to give up one of our young assets, you know what I mean, that's not making that much money, or McBride or Grimes or
I'm not doing that.
You know what I mean? Like that I'm not doing. Maybe one of them guys that, you know what I mean, that's on the that we're gonna bring in later or playing overseas, maybe one of those guys, give them like the rights to that and a second or something like that. I do that. But
yeah, Rondo was making $2.6 million this season. Veterans minimum, $2.6 million.
Yeah.
Like most of the Lakers roster is making. Okay, so Russell Westbrook is making 44. LeBron James is making 41. Anthony Davis is making 35. Taylor Horton Tucker is making 9.5. Luol Deng is still getting paid. He's making $5 million. All these old Chicago Bulls still getting paid. Kendrick Nunn is making $5 million. I wish the Knicks would have been able to pull that guy.
How much you say he's making?
He's making $5 million. And there's a player option for next season. He might opt out of that. He might be available in the offseason. Yeah, I would have really liked to take a chance on him this year. I mean, the Knicks tried to get him, but he chose to go try to win a chip with the Lakers. Melo's making 2.6, Trevor Ariza 2.6, Avery Bradley 2.6, Wayne Ellington 2.6, Dwight Howard 2.6, DeAndre Jordan 2.6, Rajon Rondo 2.6, Kent Bazemore 2.4, Malik Monk 1.7. Then they got a rookie, Austin Reeves, who's getting major playing time, making $925,000.
So we could do a Bradley and a Rondo and Knox and a second, or Knox, and I mean I wouldn't want to do it first, but I mean if we had to, one of the ones that aren't our own, that's protected and all that, because that's straight defense right there.
Defense and
both those guys,
defense
and IQ
and basketball IQ. You know what I mean? That's what you're getting with Rajon Rondo if you were to bring him in. I mean, and I think you would
Bradley as well.
Yeah, and I think you would see. You would see the way that this offense looks and the way they play. It would look really, really different with a guy like Rajon Rondo. I'm saying, would these guys be able to deal with his, him? That's another question altogether.
The good thing is, I mean, the reason I would have faith in it is because we have Tips here, and you know what I mean. Like, I think Tips would know how to moderate it. You know what I mean? Or if Rondo's his guy, you know what I mean? Like, then it don't even matter. What, you know what I mean? What's going on? Because he's gonna be a reflection of the coach. So
yeah, it's somebody said, do we think that Randle would defer to Kendrick Nunn? I don't think it's just about deferring to him, saying, hey, you're the leading scorer. I think it's about him running the ship for everybody else. You know what I mean? And if he has I don't know what his personality is like. If he has a strong enough personality, he might respect him. I don't know. I don't know. But, he's a young guard that can play defense. You know what I'm saying? A young, tough guard that I thought fit the type of culture that we were building. I thought he fit that culture. You know what I mean? Just the type of guard, his mental makeup, his physical makeup. I thought it fit the culture that we were trying to play.
CJ versus the world said, but Rondo can't shoot. First of all, his shot has improved immensely, as his career has gone on, and we seen how far we could go with a point guard that defends and can't shoot. So,
And he can't shoot, but you're talking
but he has
about
a basketball IQ.
exactly.
That's up there. You know what I mean? Maybe a notch lower than a Chris Paul.
Right.
Maybe.
You know, maybe.
You could argue that it's even.
Yeah. You know what I mean? His basketball IQ is off the charts, and it instantly makes the team that much smarter on the floor. Instantly. You know what I'm saying? Because all Tom Thibodeau would have to do is basically say, okay, I'm going to let you run. I'm going to show you what we want to do. Now I'm going to let you run it out there on the floor. I'm not calling in the plays, this and that. I'm going to let you run it. You'd have to do that with Rondo, though. You know, we've seen what happens when you don't do something like that with Rondo. You know what I mean? I'm going to let you run it. I'm going to let you handle it. And I'm going to take care of some other things. You know what I'm saying? Lineups, rotations, stuff like that. I think this team would instantly get smarter. And he'd be great for the young guys out there. Miles McBride. He'd be great for Miles McBride. But, I don't know. I don't know if the Knicks have the same ideas. Rondo is 35. A little bit older. He may not be able to get those amount of minutes. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. The Knicks are going to have to do something. We don't know what it is. They're going to have to do something and find a way to get that kind of basketball intelligence on this team. It's not going to be easy to do. But anyway, man, Tony, the Knicks take on the Atlanta Hawks on Christmas Day. Right? Tickets aren't as expensive as I thought they were going to be. They're cheaper. You can find, 200 level seats in the Garden. It's still kind of high, but, good seats anyway for under $100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, under 100.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go to the game, but I changed my mind. So I'll be watching from home. They got me nervous. I ain't gonna lie. Like I had the money put aside for so long, ready to go, and with the 200 seats being that much, I probably would have been somewhere in the 100 level. If I went, but they scared me off. I ain't gonna lie. Like the season's been so, I can't even say up and down. Like it's been so down since the first 10 games or so, that I'm like, nah, I'll wait. I'll wait till the we do another group thing or see what's going on if we make the playoffs. Cause I'm like, ain't nothing worse than spending my money on Christmas and they don't pull it out. So I'll be watching from home on my comfortable couch.
Yeah, I feel you. I'll be watching from home as well. Yeah, I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna jump on and I'm gonna be live and all of that. You know what I'm saying? On Christmas Day, I'll be live. But I thought about, I was thinking about doing something, trying to do a group thing for Martin Luther King's Day. But, with everything that's going on right now, I just don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think I'd rather just, and I'm not talking about with the Knicks. I'm talking about with COVID and all that, and all of that. Thinking I might, let's, just take it easy right now. Let's see what happens, see where things go. I don't want people to commit their money to something and then, things get all out of whack. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens there. And I do want to announce, Tony, and to everybody that's here, and if you are a member, and right below the video, if you're watching on your phone or whatever, right below the video, there's a little button that you can hit join. You can join as a member. And all of the members are going to have access to a link in next month. There's going to be some games where we're going to do watch-alongs. Not watch-alongs that are live, but watch-alongs that are in our own little private area. We'll just, watch the game and talk and, just have a little, group watch party, small group watch party, 11, 12 people. You know what I mean? But it's only going to be accessible to members. It's going to be dope. You know what I mean? It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. You know what I mean? And so we'll do it for, a couple of games every month until the end of the season. You know what I mean? So if you're a member, you have the ability to be part of that group. And then we'll flow right into the post-game show. So it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, man, like I said, I'm not going to let the Knicks ruin my night because Nas is dropping an album. Comes out in like 18 minutes. So I'm about to go check that out. It's called Magic. Sir. It's got 9 tracks on it.
Featuring Hit Boy and Premier, right?
ASAP Rocky, Premier, DJ Premier. And of course, Hit Boy's, on the beats. I'm expecting it to be dope. I'm excited for it. You know what I'm saying? So, Knicks, I'm not going to let you ruin my night. Not going to do it. You know what I mean? And, possibly maybe a little while after I listen to the album, I might jump on the front stoop and, do a quick little talk about the album. So if you want to join us, make sure you subscribe to the front stoop. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the front stoop. I just put the link in the chat. Subscribe to the front stoop. And turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified when we go live and possibly talk about this album. If we don't talk about it tonight, it'll be tomorrow. So, make sure you do it. Make sure you do it. But that being said, I'm getting up out of here, man. Start getting ready for this album to drop. Grab something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Sit back with my headphones on and chill. And listen to the Magic. That's the name of the album. 9 tracks. It's going to be dope.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be dope. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Please, if Rand Rock, you said, are you doing a Nas review? We probably will. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, anytime Nas drops an album, we do a review. It may not be tonight, but most likely will. All right? But anyway, I'm about to head up out of here. If I don't see you, which I hope to see you, for a shoot around tomorrow and the game preview on Christmas and the post-game show. Hope to see you at least for a couple of minutes. But if I don't see you, make sure you have a very, very, very Merry Christmas.
That's right.
Right? Enjoy it with your family and all of that. Don't let the Knicks bring it down if they lose on Christmas. Or it is what it is. If you're there with your family, everybody's healthy, that's the best you can ask for. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the best you can ask for. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I'm up out of here. Be peaceful. Spread love and enjoy your holiday, folks. I'm out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.